So, hey, all I gonna need is a few minutes. So, a lot of these things that are happening now, God had already used Pastor G Craige and many other men and women of God to call these stuff out years ago. And now they are manifesting, especially how the spiritual realm is so obvious now. Maybe years ago you may be, I don't think so, but now it's like you cannot deny it. And it has a lot of physical consequences also. So many of these things, especially what happened in the Alabama brawl, and then with the ceremony being done like a few 2 hours before the brawl happened, and how black women are in a sense were in the ceremony. Not surprising because this is what God had showed Pastor G Craige, in the sense that many black women were going to embrace witchcraft and seeking after their ancestors instead of seeking after God. So this is not surprising. And then in the video you're gonna see later with the woman that actually had she had some type of conference, and then they decided to go to the riverfront to have this ceremony. She was like, you should, maybe people should do this in their cities also. Okay. Anyway, so anything, this is what I'm always going to say: the order, God's order, is the man as the leader. Anything that is led by a woman always gonna have consequences that are very negative, because we as women, we need to understand we are emotional beings, not meaning that we're not logical, but our when we make decisions, when we do certain stuff, is always first and foremost emotions. And most of the time when we know, when we make decisions on based upon emotions, those tend not to and be a good thing. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. That's why God gives you the man to balance you out. We balance out each other. But whatever, that's not what people want these days. They want to do their own thing, because they were there when God was there back in the beginning. They were there too. So let me stop talking. So for the people that saw this fight and saw that this was something spiritual behind it, yes, it was. So this is the young lady going to be explaining, what took place before this brawl happened.
And for the positive comments that came from the video I shared of our ancestral ceremony that took place about 2 hours before the River Rock Brawl broke out here in Montgomery. And I wanted to also thank brothers like Tariq and Sean King for sharing and really making space for us to be aware of our practices that we've been cut off from. I was hosting my first annual Feminine Flow Experience, which is a conference and gathering for melanated women who want to heal and go deep and just change their lives emotionally, mentally, physically. And so I had some other healers that came in, nurses, other therapists that came in, and we spent the evening before and we spent the next day. And that morning, when I say these women gathered in a circle and we were purging, helping these women get to traumas and just things that they had experienced that they had not faced yet. And so by the time the closing ceremony came and we gave them flowers, there was so much joy. There was so much joy in their hearts and in the energy. And we paraded a block away to the riverfront entrance. We gave the women flowers and marched down. We were playing Beyonce, Find Your Way Back. And it was truly a parade of just feminine glory and love. And we wanted to go and pay respects to our ancestors who had walked that very same path that we walked, and say thank you and show respect and reverence for the blood, the sweat, and the tears that they had shed and the way that they made for us. And so I wanted people to understand that that is not a religious practice necessarily, but you can do that in your own cities. You can do that in your own community, just with flowers from the grocery store and putting them into the water wherever you live and just saying thank you, calling their names, calling your grandparents' names. There's power in remembering that. There's power in that. So what we did not know in the planning of the event, that there would be the Trump rally across the street from our venue. Um, we didn't know that there was going to be an event that was at the waterfront that day. Um, but we certainly felt something in the air. And interestingly enough, that morning, and I shared with the women that morning that when I woke up, the song "Take Me to the Water" was just in my heart. And when we entered the riverfront, that boat, the Harriet, catch that, the Harriet 2, was blasting Wade in the water. I am, I lie to you not. In addition, we had talked about how turtles make their progress even when it's slow, for these women to just continue to go, continue. When we got up to the water to lay our flowers, a turtle swam up. I want you all to know that you're powerful and that energy is neither destroyed nor created. And so places where you live that have histories, like the history in Montgomery where there's a slave pen right there, the lynching museum is a couple of blocks away. The Equal Justice Museum was about a block away from where we were. That energy remains. And so it was on us, the beings that carry life, to put something back and to say thank you and to say we're grateful.
So when people were saying that they felt the ancestors, that wasn't really far fetched. Now, my thing is, since there was a spiritual manifestation, what will be the physical consequences? Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.